really true vulnerability comes from a desire, I think, to want to help people know that you empathize with them.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you want them to know, like, hey, I'm really not that different than you.
Yeah.
I'm really not. Like, I'm a human being. I have failures. I have, hopes. I have dreams. I have vision. Like, I have all of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to pretend to be something that I'm not. Now, that doesn't mean I don't carry the responsibility of leadership, but that means that I don't have to like become inhuman to become a leader.
Yeah, like I'm just impervious to all the things.
Yeah,
like I'm
like, oh, I can't be
made of
vulnerable.
steel.
Yeah. But so I think the short answer, how can you be vulnerable about your own struggles and not lose people's respect is be real, but be wise.
Yeah.
Right. Well, first, like we said, don't be fake.
Yeah. Dude,
Don't be fake about it. But then if you are going to be real, be real.
You're not fooling anybody.
You're not.
You're really not. Like we all know you're fake.
So be real, but be wise. Because I think in our context, in the urban context, we know, man, authenticity isn't optional. Like game recognized game.
All the time.
Like you are not going to come up in this place and try to be one of us.
Yeah.
And you can't be.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And
Like,
we accept
I've
you for who
seen
you
it
are.
happen.
But yeah.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable and awkward when you see it happening.
Yeah.
And I've been in groups where somebody's sharing something and you're just like, oh, why did you like one? That's not even relevant to the conversation.
Yeah, super weird when
Right?
people do that. Yeah.
Like, what does that have to do with anything we're talking about? And then you're like, oh, okay, well, so they shared something that actually doesn't connect them to the people that they're talking to.
Yeah.
I think that's really maybe a second point here is really important. If you're going to share something, make sure that there's a connecting point with you and the people you're talking to.
Yeah.
Don't share something completely irrelevant, with them that doesn't make that connection.
Yeah, I think there's a part here, friends, where there is leadership in the vulnerability. When you're leading and you're sharing that you're doing it for a reason. Do you know what I'm saying? And that reason's got to be the right reason. Because there's ways to do this where you manipulate people, right? Maybe somebody brings up something and they're calling you out on something, and I go, yeah, well, and then I bring up something as a deflection, like, you don't know how hard it's been for me, and then it's like, oh, you're not being vulnerable to lead in the moment. You're using it as deflection to being called out on something. Like that's not the moment for that. But there's a leadership in the vulnerability where you said it's to help unlock a vulnerability in a safe place for other people. And that's where you want to be with that kind of vulnerability, where you're like, hey, where I think people lose respect for it is if you're abdicating with your vulnerability. Like I'm just letting out all the things. I'm just kind of like, yelling into the wind. And you guys all just have to deal with it. And it's
like we talked about before, that becomes about you.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's where the spots of like, oh man, here comes Tom, and that just wants to like whine about his life. You know what I mean? There's also, I think, a trajectory though here of vulnerability and depth of relationship and safety. If you don't want to, like, it's a trajectory of, as a leader, to grow that vulnerability. And there is a strategy to that, that I think is important, that you have to, that I it's hard to talk about because I intuit it. Like there's a sense there for me, and that's how I lead. But I also have to be careful of it being manipulation. And then I also have to be careful of it being, is this just like, if it's just for me? So.
Yeah.